Are you going to go live? Oh, we are live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to 1AD.
Welcome to the Bleeding Burgundy Podcast, a Washington football podcast by fans for fans. With your hosts, Jesse Martin.
You want to play what? Okay. Say hello to my little friend.
John Taylor.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
And Keith Gray.
The king, your majesty.
And now here's your host, John Taylor.
Hey, everybody. I'm assuming it said John Taylor because, as usual, it skips like crazy, and I said it. I'm happy. I'm proud to say it. Welcome to 1AD. That is one after Dan. We are happy about that. All right, let me go ahead and introduce my good friend. Jesse, where's your beard? What happened to you? We see a neck. What is going on here?
I was just been working out, going on a health kick, and I just lost it. It came off with the weight.
Dude, I tell you what, that is losing some weight when your hair falls out. Yeah, maybe it's,
Maybe I should go to the doctor.
You were riding. What was that three-wheeled thing you were riding in?
The spider, not the spider, but
not the spider. The spider's the motorcycle.
Daggone it.
It's the three-wheel car.
Yeah.
It looks badass.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I can't think of the name. I don't know why I can't think of the name. I've had it for a whole 8 hours.
Well, you think about it while we go ahead and introduce our good friend from Barrow and Furnace, UK, Scott. How you doing over there, Scott? Has the news reached the opposing shore of the Atlantic Ocean yet? Do you know what's happening here in the States?
It has indeed, and it was live on every news channel possible. Mr. Burrows has just turned up in the chat. He will tell you the same. It was on our Sky News within probably 5 minutes of it breaking in the US. Big headline news, even to the point where my work colleagues were talking about it today. Yeah, so I've impinged something on them.
Well,
so
obviously they're going to talk about it because he just moved in over there, right? He's a UK citizen. You believe this prick moved in here after? Oh my God! What is that?
Right, he's eating jelly deals as we speak, John. Maybe that's what he's doing. Yeah, jelly deals.
Now, I've seen British cuisine. Jelly deals might be the scum that they peel off the top of a can of potted meat. I don't know.
I just want to let everybody know why the dogs start going off. Yes, on the ticker, it says we are going to be rated PG for the first 20 minutes. We have a new listener, Wyatt. We want to give a shout out to Wyatt and his dad, Sean. I promised that gave his dad a promise that we will do our very, very best.
I will do my best.
Good boys for the first 20 minutes of the show. But
right.
Earmuffs after the first 20 minutes because we'll have to make up for lost time. But we want to give a shout out to a new listener, a humongous diehard Washington Commanders fan. We're glad to have you on board. We're always glad to have new listeners. And shout out to Sean. I had a nice little conversation with him after he checked out our show for the first time a couple weeks ago. So glad to have you. And welcome to the wild ride.
I always wonder just what the hell goes through people's minds when they listen to our show the first time.
I have no idea, John. It's like two guys ranting and a random English person. But yeah, it's it's brilliant. Welcome Wyatt, and welcome Sean. Thanks for being on board with us.
Yeah, and to our listeners, definitely go check out the Bunker podcast. Andy and Scouse had a fun show. I was on it for a couple of minutes on my way home from work, just talking about the exciting news, man. I mean, it feels like a new day. And what I said on that podcast too is like yesterday, it was so surreal. Going through my fandom, the 40 plus years, as a young kid, remembering when this team was so good. Looking back and for the folks like Scott and Andy and Scouse and all the young people that have clinged on to this fan base the past 20 years, you haven't seen it. And I feel so bad, but
you didn't see it either, youngin'.
This is the what are you talking about?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you saw it, but you were like, "Gosh, Packers, we're gonna win the Super Bowl."
I was 10 years old.
All right, exactly.
I was 10 years old. Remember every bit of that season because, well, that's a long story.
But this way, to our young PG listener that's listening right now, when you're 10, you talk like this, and then when you get to be, a little older, your voice drops down to where Jesse's is. And ask Dad about that.
No, it was a very memorable season for me with me and my grandfather before he died.
You're Redskins, right? All of a sudden, his voice changed.
But for the fact of the matter is, like, all we've seen is shit for the past 24 years. Shit, even a little bit before that. Now, there's actual hope. There's hope. There's hope because we could not win with Dan.
No, we couldn't win with Dan. And, I mean, there's hope for a lot of different reasons. But, people are going overboard right now. They're going to name their kids Josh all year long, for the rest of the year.
My son is actually called Josh.
No, I mean, it's a very popular
I'm already winning.
I renamed my dog Josh Harris. I called him Josh Harris all night last night.
I'm sure you did, and I'm sure the dog was like, who the hell is he talking to?
Yeah, he didn't look at me at all.
What are you talking about?
I printed off a picture of Josh Harris, Mitch Rails, and Magic Johnson said they were the three wise men. So obviously,
Well, I don't know. You saw
Messiah
TV show. You might want to rethink that.
Well, yeah, okay.
Look, I'm very excited. Everybody's very excited, and everybody's very filled with optimism because there are things to be optimistic about. Aside from, look, even with Dan here, let's pretend for a second, and I know, no nausea, I'm sorry, but for a second, let's pretend Dan didn't go anywhere. This team is still in position to be a very good football team if they can get some adequate quarterback play. With the new ownership in town, we have, I think, a new lease on players and their desire to be here, right? Yeah. Nobody wanted to play with Dan. Okay, so now we have, like I said before, I'm stealing this from my friend Disco. Hey, Magic Johnson sits down at the free agent table. Who's not going to sign? Right?
True.
You saw that picture of Darryl Green today, all shot with Magic Johnson shaking his head. Hey, you're Magic Johnson. That's Darryl Green, Hall of Fame.
And Magic Johnson was like, "You're Darryl Green,"
I'm right.
Yeah. It's so cool, isn't it? But you got to think here. I mean, you're right, John. You're absolutely spot on with what you're saying. What is really cool here is now we have an ownership group that's worth over $100 billion. Now, I'm not saying that the salary cap can adjust in, and we're not going to change things overnight. But what we have got is you've got people, and we've got a cash-rich owners now. So people, as you say, who are coming into the free agents market might want to play here now. The cloud of doom has been lifted off our franchise now. It seems like we've got our team back. And I think if the media decides, hey, we're going to give you a little bit of a pass this season, I mean, yeah, they're still going to go hard on us, but it might mean that we get less of the negativity that's been around this team for a long, long time.
I don't know. They already blew it by giving the Jets hard knocks. I mean,
well, we could still be in.
As soon as they said the Jets are on hard knocks, I went.
I think we'll be the in-season one. I mean, they've been doing that the last couple of years now. So I think it was the Colts. Thinking that, and I said this, I think, the last podcast, I think it would be a perfect opportunity for the NFL to be able to show like changes in progress because they're going to and have it maybe focus a little bit more on the business side of the team because right now they can't really do much of anything about except for maybe re-sign some players like Cam Curl or possibly Sweat or somebody like that. But just the changes to the organization, like upgrading FedEx Field, the fan experience, getting that the top three priorities that they said is to win football games, the fan experience and get the quality I think they were saying something about get things that the players need to be able to perform on the field, like a new weight room. I mean, we saw that list that came out last year. We were the worst, training staff and weight room facilities were the worst in the NFL. I think you're going to see those type of changes right away. And that would be really cool to see something like that on the in-season Hard Knocks. Yeah. Take that old rusty Bowflex machine that they were had in the closet, their weight room and replace it with a modern facility. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. I'm excited. The hand rower. right. Pencil sharpener. Right. Yeah. So I'm excited just for the prospect of the season coming up.
this is unusual for us, and that this is a summer of nothing but pretty good news, right?
Yeah,
Dan
yeah.
had to pay $60 million in a fine.
Yes.
He stole his money, where he stole their money.
Yeah, no, it's been great news, and now we can focus on the football. That's the thing. We can just focus on football. We don't have to focus about what damning story is coming out of the Washington Post the next day. You know?
I was about to say, do you not feel that it's a bit strange to be like,
we got a lot of owners in the door, and you don't know what
that's true.
do you not think it's a bit strange to sit here and be like, not have that anxiety that hangs in the back of your mind going, what's it going to be this off season? You know, who's going to say what?
Is it not that? What is it going to be this week? It seemed like every week.
Every week it was
today,
every single week.
Look, I'll tell you what. Yesterday, all right, shoot, I forgot my point. Go ahead. Sorry, this is what happens when I try to be PG. I forget my point. I don't know what I'm talking about.
To your point, though, Jesse, you're absolutely spot on. Have you seen some of the pictures of FedEx so far? We actually have new rails instead of the Jalen Hurts ones that he fell through. All the Philly fans fell through even.
Right. I still don't feel sorry for him.
The other thing as well, I mean, Burrows was mentioning it before, and a few others were mentioning it and saying that the concessions at the minute at FedEx, I don't know if it's just because it's this weekend, $5. $5. If that stays.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure beer prices are going down. You know, I guarantee this season, and this is the stuff, the fan engagement, the fan experience, this is the stuff that can change right now. You know, they can lower the prices on the beer and the concessions. They can get better concessions in there. Those things can happen within them. We are a month away from the season, you know, and instead of talking, we'll get to our roster a little bit later, but instead of talking about, you know, who's going to make the team, we're talking about the Mary Jo Wright report, or is this team going to get sold before the season started? You know, it's such a brush of I had a tear in my eye yesterday. I'm really thinking like I feel like that this is turning into not just a chapter, it's a whole new book now. And you know, I was whining.
I'm so glad Dan Snyder's gone.
You should be.
I don't want to hear that anymore.
Dan Snyder's 1999, and this guy's nothing but a little rotten son of a gun. You know, I tell you what. I keep going to these damn games. I ride 3 hours in the rain to go up to one of these games. I ride a motorcycle and all kinds of crap hits me in the face just to go to the football game, and they end up losing all of this. I'm just going to quit.
He's stolen 24 years of people's fandoms.
Absolutely.
That's right. You know, I think that for the first 15 years, he probably was trying, but not anymore. And I'm going to.
He was trying, but he was just doing it the wrong way, you know?
I mean,
talking to the wrong people.
The revelation from Jay Gruden that, he didn't watch any film before he just spout out things. Gee, really? Who didn't know that? I mean, you could have been here for the first year and known that. The first year. My man brought in every free agent he could find.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you got to put that up so we can read it. People do.
We have, yeah.
All right. Andy Burrows said, I wonder if Josh Harris is blocked. What are you doing? I can't even read it.
I don't know.
All right. I wonder if Josh Harris has blocked Keith's number already. I don't know. We were expecting a special guest today, but I don't know what happened to him. So maybe Andy, you want to, I can send Andy a link. Whenever we call him in for a spot, he's usually 3 sheets to the wind, and it's 11:30.
Do you not just think, though, that the adults are in the room now? And this is what it feels like to me, that the adults are in the room now. The right business people are there.
Look,
the people
man,
who understand the
this
team.
show. You shouldn't say that.
Not here. I mean, like in charge of the team now. That's what I'm saying. As in in charge of the team, Josh Harris and his group, you know, it's as if now we have a legitimate business people who understand a franchise and understand how it is to run a sports team. Dan didn't understand how to run a sports team, and
he didn't understand how to run anything.
Nah, there are definitely no adults on this show. Absolutely right, Burrows. But initially, I think you're right. He tried to do the right thing. He just got with the wrong people, and that was the biggest problem. And then obviously, he was a creep. You know, he was a creep at the end. So it's it's.
So the thing is, he didn't get with wrong people. He found the wrong people and kept them.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
He wanted them because they would say yes to him and they wouldn't turn away from him, and they would bow over every time he bullied them and everything like that. His ego was just tremendous. I would like to say one thing. So just real quickly, to our young listener who's out there. Are we past 20 minutes yet? No, we're at 14 minutes. Okay, young fella. Okay, so put this on as your. I gotta say this real quick. So, oh wait, I gotta. Oh yeah, I gotta play the intro. I got something to say. All right, so I'll wait 6 minutes. Let me make myself. But it's about Snyder. We're gonna be off the top.
Pump the brakes. Pump the brakes there,
No,
John.
I think we'll be back on Snyder throughout the show. And to be honest, this is the last time I ever want to talk about that weasel.
Me too. Yeah. Unless I say, hey, did you hear Dan Snyder's boat sunk off the coast?
Yeah. I wonder how fast Tanya is going to send in the divorce papers and get half.
Depends on what kind of agreement she signed. Who knows, man? We'll see. Yeah. I'm going to give you an impression. Ready? This is my impression if the Commanders are on Hard Knocks or the in-season Hard Knocks of the video that they're going to get from me. And NFL Films is going to do this from the tailgate that we're all going to be at that day. Ready? So if I don't have any really good NFL Films music because it's copyrighted and I'd get bounced on my head for doing it. So you'll just have to pay attention.
Oh, he's gunning it.
All right. So, that's you could have stopped me any second there, really.
No,
I could have while you were talking because, whenever I'm doing that kind of thing, whenever somebody's doing that kind of thing, you have that nice voice on NFL Films.
Oh, yeah. And the fans were ready to party that day as the Arizona Cardinals stepped out of the bus and Kyler Murray fell into the sewer.
He's not going to be there, is he?
No, but I will tell you this. I did see that that FedEx Field is going to put little gratings on top of all the sewers just in case.
just in case.
They're going to. It turns out we're already there, so to keep Dan Snyder from falling.
They're going to build a little a playpen on the visitors' sideline so they can Kyler Murray.
a gaming suite.
Instead of having our little warmy benches over there, let Josh Harris start us off right. Put a playpen over there with a bow.
Oh, that'd be great.
There you go.
We can get a friend for Major Tuddy. It can be Barney, and he can bounce around with Kyler Murray.
You're going to get thrown out of this show, young fella.
The years that are have gone by with just a sprinkle here, sprinkle there as far as a playoff berth. I think that's going to be over with, man. I think having a guy like Magic Johnson kind of be the figurehead, of this. I love what Magic was saying today during the press conference. He didn't buy into a team for the ego. He buys into things to win. And that resonated with me a lot. And I really enjoyed what he had to say. And same thing with Rails and Josh Harris. They said the right things and what you wanted to hear.
Snyder said the right things 22 years ago, too.
Yeah, but he was like that. He was talk like a little weasel.
But this is what I want to see from
my money the hard way by phone.
This is what I want to see from
cheating.
Josh Harris and the team. I want to see. How much was your check there? Yeah. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go. That's all I want to see. I don't see anything else. If Magic Johnson wants to be the face of the community and he wants to be the face of the franchise off the field, I am absolutely more than happy for him to do that. But I don't want to see anybody else. I want you to stay out of the way, sign the checks, but do what you need to do to make this a winning franchise off the field.
I want Magic Johnson on the sidelines because he's a full
hype man.
Everybody. And all the other players on the other team will be like, hey, man, there's Magic Johnson.
Yeah.
Special guest. What's up, Andy Burrows?
Welcome our friend Andy Burrows from across the pond. Listen.
You got your hair pointed today. Nice.
I saw, it's a special occasion, isn't it?
I saw Andy about an hour ago.
He's got his 1971 Michael Caine glasses on. That's cool. I like that.
You were only meant to blow the bloody doors off.
That was perfect.
He was.
I saw Andy about an hour ago. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on.
I'm ecstatic. What a time to be a Commanders fan. Feels like it feels like the start of something. It feels like brand new. It's like I picked a team today and I've gone, do you know what? I'll support the Washington Commanders. That's how I feel today. It feels like everything's fresh. The sun is shining. The sky is blue. Yeah, let's go, man. It feels a great day to be a Commanders fan. Nothing negative to say.
Thinking about, and I mentioned it a little bit to you on your pod earlier today, and I said a little bit about it earlier. But how are you guys feeling? What is going through y'all's head when you come into this franchise, 10, 12 years ago,
like a couple of deer that stepped out into the road.
it. So what's your emotions like right now to finally have that hope that, hey, this organization is now going to be run the right way, or hope that it
is there.
Yeah,
right. You go, Burrows. You go, mate.
Yeah. Hopefully I get to experience what other fans have experienced now. The Redskins talk, the RFK talk. It's just like I'm hearing Josh Harris talk about how he needs to go to RFK, and he's talking about Super Bowls. I've never had any of that, literally none, ever. And it'll be just amazing, just to talk of championship games and Super Bowls, and all of that's got me excited. Is it going to happen overnight? No. Is it going to happen in the next 2-3 years? Maybe not. But the fact that there's potential, and that's where Magic Johnson said, when he said to me in his press conference day, he said, I just want to win. That's all I want to do. I'm with some of these fans on social media. I don't give a shit about. I don't give a shit about changing a name. Oh, sorry, you're still PG. I don't care about changing a name.
1 minute and 2 seconds past the deadline.
Yeah. All right. So earmuffs for our friend Wyatt, and we're going back to almost X-rated now.
Almost. It'll be.
Yeah. I don't care about any of this name change stuff or anything. Just win. Magic Johnson had me at win when he said he just wants to win, and he's a born winner. That he had me then, and I'm just excited because I've never had anything like that in my fandom. Just to experience that, and just the talk. Like I said to Scott and Jesse, you guys earlier, just the thought of flying over to watch my team play in the Super Bowl got me excited. That's just us thinking about it as fans.
Yeah.
To actually potentially do it in 3, 4, 5. I don't care if it takes Josh Harris 10 years to get us there. If we lose 3 championship games, but I see potential and that we're growing, it's better than anything Dan Snyder's ever given me as a fan. I've seen more and I've heard more of our new ownership in the last 24 hours than I have from that fucking arsehole Dan Snyder in 25, 30 years. So I'm super excited. The news is just as exciting over here as it is in the States, especially amongst us Washington fans. Trust me.
I saw that Piccadilly Circus was going berserk.
It was. That was only because Burrows didn't drop the beer off. That's what it was. But no, in all seriousness, it's for me. It's the same. I've got that same feeling. I am absolutely ecstatic about September. I cannot wait now. It can't come quick enough now to get out to see you guys. We've all met before. I've only known Burrows for 2.5, 3 years now, and it's like, that even that little small community that we have in the UK, even in our own little bubble, if you like, we're all feeling the same. We're all got exactly the same feelings of, waking up this morning with a bit of an extra step. You know what I mean? With a chip like, yes, this is it now. I've got my team back. I'm excited for the future. I'm excited for what we've got coming. I mean, we're just 2 dudes who picked a team out of nowhere. There's no real, connection to it. It's just this is how it's got. We're not born into this franchise. Burrows, you were out there obviously, and you got your influence from your American mates and whatever else. But we've got our own stories, and that's how it goes. And I just think to myself, it's a day to dream now. It's a day to dream, as Andy said. It's time to look at what we've got in the squad and think, we're gonna go far. This is epic music.
All right, Winston Churchill, calm down.
Yes,
we will fight them on the beaches.
Right. We will fight them in Dallas Stadium. We will fight them at the
Philadelphia Eagles.
We will destroy Daniel Jones. Fuck you, Daniel Jones.
Exactly right.
All right, I got one last thing to say about Dan Snyder, and I've been waiting since the little fella had to go off, so we're past 20 minutes.
Sit down and shut the fuck up. Shut up! Shut up! Sit the fuck down and shut up! Shut up and sit down. Will you shut up? Just sit your ass down here and shut up.
Right. Now, first off, that's not for the young fella. You were a very good listener today. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
This is for these freaking people who, over the last like 4 or 5 days, up until today and yesterday, were like, you know what? We might miss Dan Snyder a little bit. Let's all say something nice about Dan Snyder. No, fuck you, man. Fuck you. There's nothing nice to say about Dan Snyder. You know what's nice to say about Dan Snyder? I'm taller than that sumbitch. So if I hang a booger out of my nose, it can hit him in the head. That's what's nice to say about Dan Snyder. Nothing. Nothing at all. So all you with your don't be nice. No, fuck that. I want him leaving town. As Oasis would say, I want to scrape his fucking ass off the sole of my shoe tonight.
Yeah.
Oasis said that.
Yes,
Yeah, they did.
What album was that?
Oasis was bad. What happened to who?
It was off Definitely Maybe, but yeah. Okay.
You know, I thought it was funny the other day.
Definitely Maybe.
I think it was 1067 The Fan. They put out a tweet. They said, "Will you credit Dan Snyder if Sam Howell turns out?"
No, I will not.
It's like, what the fuck are we thinking?
Jack
here?
can cook because Joe Theismann because Joe Theismann.
Exactly.
No.
I mean,
Right?
like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? It's time to move. We're moving on. Thanks for fucking
doesn't know what
Dan.
to do with itself now. Everybody's happy. They're like,
I know.
We don't have any bones to pick.
As I said before, when you're lower than a snake's belly, you can't get any worse, can it? Let's be honest.
Shit.
No,
It's
it's happy
absolutely
times.
great.
And I'll tell you what, week 1 is going to be fucking epic.
If we lose,
it's going to be
everybody's
lit.
going to be.
I don't even care. You know, I do care if we lose, but just the whole
Everybody's going to be dead.
the whole experience.
The whole city's just going to go.
At least until kickoff, it's going to be freaking amazing. At least. Now, when the fourth quarter whistle blows, that might be a different story. But I mean, it's the fucking Arizona Cardinals that's going to be is slated to be the worst team in the whole fucking league. So if we can't beat,
what are you
talking
talking
about?
about? You'll be gone at 13 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah,
That's
we're
me.
losing.
4 points. We've kicked a field goal. I'm off. Going to see you in the fucking lot.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
The guy
Fuck you. Enjoy your season.
after the opening kickoff tripped and fell down. Fuck this. I'm out of here.
No, Keith's my right.
Angrily tweeting.
Fair enough.
No, but I'm excited to see. I don't think we're not. We haven't seen. We're not going to see. We haven't seen FedEx Field like this.
No.
Since probably the RG3 years, 2012. It's going to be that exciting. It's going to be that. I mean, just to look at the fans' face. I mean, there's more fans at this pep rally than there has been at most home games in the last couple of years.
That's fine with me. Let me tell you what. It's been a banner sports week for me, ladies and gentlemen. Aside from the fact that the Commanders, right, the Baltimore Orioles, your Baltimore Orioles are in first place at the end of July.
For now.
So yeah, baby. It's a happy week for John.
No idea who they are.
John's an Orioles
They
fan.
play
man.
rounders. That's what they
But Rounders, that's it. Yeah, Rounders. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
I can't do baseball. I mean, fair play to you. It's the American game.
Baseball is called.
Says a cricket fan.
It's
I'm not a cricket fan either, but it's,
I thought you're English. I thought all English was cricket fans.
No, I was
Is that stereotyping? I'm sorry.
My wife's cousin is an Ashes winner, but yeah, apart from that, it's
Who's your wife's
it's
cousin?
interesting.
I watched
Steve
some cricket
Harmson.
last week. Yeah.
Shut up.
I
Yeah,
did. No,
Steve-
I was
Steve
standing
Harmson.
in line at the liquor store, and it's run by an Indian guy, and he had it on, so I was
How
watching.
he tells me this.
Did you not know that? I thought I told you that. Steve and Ben are.
No, you've told me about 1,000 stories. Most of them about you being in the army, and you've never one story that I'll probably be interested in. You never told me.
Army. How
Navy,
dare you say I was
Army,
in the
yeah,
army?
something you all the same in it.
I'm not a sailor. Dear me. Air Force.
You
You
could
sound
be.
like one.
Yeah, you could be a sailor.
Hi guys.
All right.
So expectations.
Bleeding Burgundy after dark.
I shouldn't even say a thing. I work for the Navy. However, they are all called to the side of the ship. Gentlemen, submarine rising. Woo!
The expectations for this year. You know, like for me, I don't even care really if we go to the playoffs. I mean, I do obviously, but
Ron does.
the leash is so long for Josh Harris for the. And I'm not talking about Ron Rivera. I'm talking about Josh Harris himself. I mean, we're going to give this guy time, years to right the ship. I mean, it's going to take at least 4 or 5 years to write 24 years of absolute bollocks bullshit.
I don't know. It doesn't take that long. I mean, to rebuild a team doesn't take that long. And no, it should never.
He's rebuilding a franchise. I think,
you know, look, you win and things rebuild a lot quicker than than if they're losing. So I'm not too concerned about that.
Do you think then that if you look at this and we give him the time, which I do agree with Jesse, there is going to be time and a long leash given to him from the fans, as long as Burrows put the point up earlier, as long as you see progress, and it doesn't have to be on the field progress, we're talking off the field as well. If we start to see, oh yeah, we're moving back towards a stadium, if we see things getting better off the field, would you be happy with that over time? Because as you said, it's going to take time to undo 24 years of hurt.
I mean, I think we've seen progress before, Josh Harris was even in the picture, to be honest with you.
I mean, would you give Dan Snyder credit, though?
No, I give Jason Wright credit, but
yeah,
I mean, Dan Snyder's been living on his yacht for the past year. I don't give him shit. Jason Wright's been trying to do things with zero budget. He's probably done everything that he possibly can. Has he fucked up some things? Sure. But
we got to put together a Sean Taylor statue. Give me some goddamn coat hangers. Hurry up.
Yeah.
Jersey on the team store. Hurry.
I think Josh Harris is going to give Jason Wright a shot, at least a year to prove his worth and to hopefully he sticks around. I like Jason. I think he's a good person. I think he's engaging. I think he can do the proper job with the proper materials to do the job, like a fucking checkbook. But yeah, you're already seeing that stuff. I mean, like shit, they just fucking put up new rails. They're putting up new video boards.
We are not coming back unless you fix this shit.
they're putting a new sound system, so you're actually going to be able to hear the fucking stupid Mario music as they get a first down.
Please change that, Josh Harris.
Yeah.
Please change that. We don't need stupid child's video game sound effects for.
But I see them putting in because it's going to be a while before we get a new stadium. I see them putting about $100 million into FedEx Field to make the next 7 to 10 years while we're waiting for a new stadium palatable.
I got a suggestion. Game day hostesses.
Jesus Christ, John.
Actually, I think we've seen video of them at FedEx Field in the past. Haven't we seen that in the past? I think we have.
Up in the top.
All day.
Yes, up in the standing room.
To do that, Joe.
Yeah, standing room only.
Quite frankly.
Have y'all seen that video? Have y'all seen that video?
There's like, and let me tell you something.
In the
girls that are up there, you'd rather stick it in the hole in the concrete wall.
There's a video at FedEx Field during the Redskins game.
There's more than one.
A girl was.
I tried to get season tickets up there.
On her knees, going at it. Yeah, going at it.
Wow. Okay. Let's just hope the young listener has definitely checked out. Right
I hope so.
We are down a path of no return here. It was a fence, and we've just hurdled it.
Her preferred pronoun is So, all right. So yeah, optimism. Here's the thing. Andy, you had something to say about what Scott was asking. Go ahead with your big. I swear to God, that's cracking me up. He's like, what? Where'd he go?
He's checked out. He's checked out. He's had enough.
I'm putting on my contacts. Fuck this.
All right, he needs to pay his internet bill.
About giving, I seem to be lagging too. About giving Josh, the group a long leash, and about the team president and all this stuff like this. Here's the thing. We are one of the only teams in the entire NFL that gives a living shit what any of those people do, because our team, it is affected. You don't see other teams' owners running into the freaking box after watching a goddamn no video, right? Just seeing a name and saying, we want that guy, and making the coach pick him, all right? No other owner gets snapped up like ours does. So we notice what the owner does. If you were a fan of the Chargers, well, I guess maybe the Chargers ran out of town a couple of years ago in San Diego. But if you're a fan of the Broncos, say, or the Bears, or any of these teams that you don't hear anything from the team president, Jason Wright has said repeatedly, I don't have anything to do with the football. He's trying to do stuff that's not even off the field that we can see. Some of these fan-oriented things, Joey has a lot to do with those kinds of things. Jason, who's the team president for the goddamn Patriots? Do you know? Who's the team president?
No idea.
Any idea? No, nobody knows, right? But they know who ours is because of all the shit that always happens. So the best thing that Josh Harris could do, this entire group could do, is let us forget that they're there. If once we stop worrying about them, then we realize, even if the team doesn't win, they have very little to do with it unless we see evidence of Snyderism. We're going to make a new term, Snyderism.
I think for I think for the first couple of years, I think they're going to be out and about, wanting to touch. They're going to want to touch base with the fan base, get a pulse of the fans, especially Magic Johnson. I think he's, like I said before, I think he's going to be kind of that figurehead of the ownership group, as he should be, because he is, if you don't know who Magic Johnson is, if you don't know who Magic Johnson is, you've been living under a rock. Like ever.
So John, here's a quick one for you then. Is this what it's going to be like to be a football fan, and what it was like in the 90s or even the 80s, where it was like, do you know what? All we're going to talk about is actual football and how the team's doing. Because I'm pretty certain if you're a Kansas City fan, or if you're a a Buffalo fan or whatever, they're not going to the Super Bowl. But say you're in the AFC Championship, you're a perennial winner. It must be just pretty nice just to sit there and go, how's the team doing? Oh, well, we've got this to talk about. And there's nothing off field. There's nothing like, oh, my God, this is happening. I mean, honestly, what's it like?
You got to realize the times are so much different. In all honesty, you didn't hear about that stuff back then because they didn't report it back then. All right. There was a 24-hour news cycle. There was not social media and people who live with credibility issues that need to find out shit about other people and blast it out there. In fact, the media is somewhat covered for players and covered for coaches and stuff like that, because in those days, I'm talking George Allen days when I became a fan. I became a fan the year Vince Lombardi was there, right? But George Allen was the coach when I was. So, when it came to going all the way through the 80s and into the 90s, winning was something that not necessarily was expected until Gibbs got there. We expected to win, right? I expected we're going to win practically every week, okay? In the 70s, I'm younger, so it's a different mindset. You don't know as much, but if we got to the playoffs, that was fucking cool, man. We got there. That's all right. But the media, shit. Billy Kilmer and Sonny Jurgensen used to get arrested for DWI all the damn time.
Yeah.
All right. All the time. And then let out of jail because they had to go play on Sunday. Okay. So nowadays, oh my God, none of these guys would be able to exist. Dick Butkus would be run out of the league in a heartbeat. Chris Hamburger would be fined right out of the league, gone. Okay. So it was different in that we didn't have the negative things to talk about because there really wasn't any. I think the biggest off-field anything I remember about any owner in my lifetime is Leonard Toews of the Philadelphia Eagles being forced to sell because he gambled away all his money.
Shout out to Trey from the DMV Sports 3 in the chat, man. Man, Showtime is in the building, and he is going to bring that love back to the fans, and like just him being engaging is going to be so meaningful for the city of DC. I mean, he's going to be out there, and that's okay.
Is what I'm hearing.
But you're not going to hear a whole lot from Josh Harris and Mitch Rails and stuff like that. I think you're going to hear everything from Magic Johnson, and that's cool, man, because he wants to get out in that community and help the community with different projects in the city. But listen, social media has changed everything, man. It
Absolutely.
really has. We have so much access. You have so much access to any and all information pretty much that you want.
And misinformation and disinformation.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and they play that shit in sports too. People think it's funny, right? How many times somebody always thinks it's funny to ape like an Adam Schefter account and get everybody clicking on something, which I guess that kind of shit. That's fine. I don't care. It's not really all that.
It's not all bad though, because it means that me and you two fine gentlemen can have a conversation like this when we're in different continents, which is pretty cool.
I haven't been incontinent in a long time, but I will tell you this.
I thought that's coming.
when you're winning, there's not as much to talk about. There really isn't, right? Exactly. When you're winning, I mean, we're going to break down games. You know, you see how I assume we're going to start winning. When you break down games, we didn't have podcasts back then either, you know. But when you were talking to your friends about the game, hey, we won. Hey, we did great. How about that play? That was great. That was awesome. Hey, that was cool. Hey, see you later. And because there's nothing left to do, there's no debate about anything. We kicked ass. Hey, woohoo. You know, when you're a losing team, there's lots to talk about.
Oh yeah. But that's any sport. Any sports like that, and any franchises like that. But isn't it funny now? I mean, you just got to think to yourself, even. You know, we talked slightly about how the media is going to portray us going forward. I hope we get a little bit of a break now and a bit of an uplift, especially from the national media. But I did find it quite funny that even at that press conference, there was just that little bit of negativity was still there. You know, just that little snide question that came in, like, "Oh, you own 2 other teams, so how are you going to split your time with us?" Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
you know.
Oh, that's a valid question. That is a valid question.
It is a valid question, but he just spent $6 billion.
He's going to have football people do the football work. I mean,
the invalid question would be:
John Taman, Bleeding Burgundy podcast. What are you going to do? Are you going to hire another trainer that's going to get arrested or investigated by the FBI?
DEA running or knocking on the door. Yeah.
Right. John Taman, Bleeding Burgundy podcast. Excuse me, Mr. Harris. What are you going to do about the cameras in the ladies' room? Are you going to keep those things on a live feed? I've got a website for you.
You know, and what irritates me about this whole mess is. Well, not mess. What's irritating me right now is like fans are just like demanding this fucking name change like already. Oh, it's like, what can we get their feet in the fucking door for 5 minutes before we go off and change the fucking name shit?
You pulled this guy up and you called him the bell end of the week.
Yeah, while we're here, 2 weeks straight now. 2 weeks straight, we've had bell end of the week.
Right. Now, for all you Americans out there, the bell end is the bullhead of your dick. They call it something different because, I don't know, it hangs down. I don't know. But, you know, maybe you should call it the uvula. But the fact of the matter is, this bullshit about, look, even Kevin Sheehan said the Redskins might come back. No, it's not going to come back.
No. Oh, I heard that today. I'm like, come on, are you serious?
It's not going to come back. It's unfortunate, but
Scott Van Pelt kind of put him in his place today.
Stats about 90% of Native Americans don't find it doesn't make any difference.
Yeah. Native Americans have nothing to do with it. They had nothing to do with the goddamn name change.
No,
it was money.
Yeah,
of course.
But I think they did decide, and I know we're all sick and tired of name change. If they did decide to do it again in 5 years, I think they could probably get an exemption because, like, I can remember the 49ers one year. There's a jersey requirement back in the day where you had to wait a certain number of years before you could change the jersey.
Still there.
The 49ers wore this jersey that had this nice little black piping around the back of the letters of the numbers, and it looks so cool. They let them do it again next year. They let them use that. Okay, that's your permanent shirt. That looks cool. Yeah. So maybe they'll give.
I just don't think it's. I don't think it's going to happen. It's the fact of the matter is you're not going to appease 20% of the more than 20% of the fan base with no matter what you pick.
I don't think it's an appeasement. I think it's just it's not a good name. I mean, you know what?
No, it's not. Listen. Y'all know how I felt about the Commanders. The name. I hate it. I hate the name. I hate the name. But guess what? I've accepted the name. I got my goddamn license plate says Commanders on it. I got a fucking hat. It's the name now. No, it is what it is. But you know what would change every fucking thing? If we fucking won, then no one would fucking give a shit about the Commanders.
Nobody would.
Idiots can fucking say. I shouldn't say idiots. I know I have friends that really want them to change the name, but people can say that winning wouldn't matter. They still want the name change. It's bullshit because it will gloss
It
over
would lessen the
everything.
blow. You'd forget about it
Gloss over
quicker.
everything. Because the Redskins aren't coming back. As much as we want it to, they're not coming back. And
I'll tell you what.
there's not a name out there that is going to come close to it.
No,
I just think people like drama.
Just a real
Yeah.
quick.
They just like drama. That's all it is. People like drama. People want things changed. People want us to go with the times, to move on, to do this.
Like
We
Trey,
are not
Trey
gonna hang around
in the
this.
chat, he wants drama. He's talking about a coach controversy. You love drama, don't you, Trey? I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing with you.
Just
Ron
all
on
about
a
the
milk
drama.
carton. Ron on a milk carton. Can you imagine that? That would, Jesus Christ, how old is that kid? I don't know. I had something to say and I forgot what the hell it was.
No,
That's
I
what
think
happens when you get
EB and Ron have a good relationship. I think they're going to be just fine this year. If we go to the playoffs, Ron's job is safe. And so is EB's, and Ron might want to. Ron might want to sail off into the sunset and give and that paves the way for EB to come.
I'm more.
It says that that's what they've already got in place. I'm telling you, they interviewed 6 other people for that OC job, and they didn't follow up with any of them. It was like a cursory interview, like thanks for coming. See you later.
Yeah.
But this was it was almost like it was in place. Evie didn't take any other interviews with anybody else.
No.
And look, if this is in place in a franchise where at the time we assumed that Snyder was going to sell, right? As a matter of fact, we were assuming that they were going to.
They didn't know who they were going to sell to.
Right, it was all up in the air. So
Harris
you got
has a lot to say about this.
You got a lot of question there. So I think the NFL did. They said, "Look, man, this guy needs a break. He needs a chance." So, and Ron's going to go upstairs. I think that would be
and I'd be perfectly fine with that.
I think you might be right, but I'm actually more worried about EB having a great season and someone else snapping him up potentially if we keep Holder on.
Well, if
we
EB
have
has a great season, if EB has a great season, we got first dibs on offering that head coaching job.
Of course
If
we
he
have.
has a great season. I don't want to give him a head coaching job. The head coach never is a good offensive coordinator. They just,
except for Andy Reid.
And Joe Gibbs. I mean, the great ones can, but Joe Gibbs. Whenever you asked him what it was like in the old tees, if they had said to something, Mr. Gibbs, can you tell us what happened on that 4th down with the defense? And he would be like, I don't know. I don't know nothing about the defense. Ask Richie. And he didn't know. He didn't give a damn. Those guys were down there. They did their thing. So most of the time when you see a good coordinator become a head coach and fail, it's because all of a sudden they can't do what they're best at. They can't focus solely on that. They have to be a delegator, and
and that might, with Ron moving up in the office, he could help out with that. You never know. As long as if Jack Del Rio stays, I think that would be good for EB because listen, before EB got here, Ron relied on Jack for a whole hell of a lot than just the fucking defense.
Yep.
I mean,
for sure.
Especially during the cancer, his treatments. I mean, Jack ran the team, so there's been support all around for running this team. So it's an interesting conversation for next year, for after the season.
Jack was well known for calling the team up and saying, "Hey, fellas, we're out of the playoffs. It's January the 6th. Let's go down to the Capitol." Field trip.
I think since he stayed off social media, it's got a hell of a whole lot better.
Yeah, his defense has gotten damn good after it since.
But it's surprising how many people find out that rich people are actually people that vote against your interests because they're rich. He's one of the rich people. So I don't care. I don't care what any of them believe, man. Just play football. That's why I'm here.
Correct. But at the same time, you have to remember as well that, he's been gracious enough to say, hey, I'm not the assistant head coach anymore. This is now EB's title. And that is a big thing. People forget that. Oh, he's the offensive coordinator. He isn't. He's the assistant head coach.
Yeah, and that's not a throwaway title. It's not a throwaway title.
He's got to go get Ron his coffee.
He's given EB reins to basically learn to be a head coach because Ron knows what's the next step for Eric Bieniemy. He's basically just training him to be a head coach, and that could be here.
So.
That could be here. Hope it's here.
So. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
if everything works out.
We go right back to what I said before. We're going to be the team that makes the experiment. We're going to do it. We're
Who's the like player personnel guy? Is it Stokes? Is that who it is?
Yeah, Stokes
maybe
is in charge of he's the player personnel. I know he's
so
in charge
maybe
of
that's
scouting
sort of
too, I think.
Yeah, maybe that's sort of where Ron might kind of end up type job.
I'll tell you what,
I don't think it'd be a GM. I think that's too much to take
as
on.
much as Ron has, or as people talk shit on Ron, I think he's done an excellent job building this team.
I agree.
I mean, he's made mistakes, and the court not solving the quarterback is what's hurt him. And
not for lack of trying.
But yeah, exactly. It's not for the lack of trying. There's just not quarterbacks out there to be had. And
here we go with the Dan effect again.
That's what I mean.
Down, right? We offered a lot for staff.
Look,
Dan
drafting Dwayne Haskins and rest his soul ruined 2 coaching jobs. Ruined Jay Gruden and put Ron Rivera back because of the fact that when Ron took this job, he was expected to at least give Dwayne a shot. By doing so, we drafted Chase Young, missed out on Tua and Herbert, and that's not Ron's fault. People want to fault Ron for that all the fucking time, and it's not the fucking case.
Well, what did I say?
He had to give Dwayne a shot.
Right. What did I say? This was a perfect time to fire Ron, to get rid of Ron when we were talking about firing Ron, because we won't be saddling the next. I didn't want Ron picking a quarterback last year. And I don't mean this spring. I mean the spring prior, because for all intents and purposes, it looked like he was on the hot seat. I don't want another rookie quarterback that Dan Snyder helped pick so that we can give it to the next coach. You go all the way back to Patrick Ramsey. And we did that with every head coach going up. Yeah. Dan Snyder, with every one of his head coaches, he handed them a quarterback that they were not, this is not my guy, right?
Well, all we got to do is, the only thing that needs to happen is will solve everything. Sam Howell's just got to be a franchise quarterback.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, we're good.
Not much to ask. Not much to ask, Jesse.
Not much. It's a little bit. Just a little. That's a little favor. Sam, just be the fucking guy, please.
Yeah, man. Be the franchise quarterback. That's not
be the guy. Rookies reported to training camp tomorrow. Tomorrow. Training camp is here, guys. I'm so fucking excited. The season.
So are we going back to weekly? When are we going back to weekly?
I would say start next week. Preseason? Okay. Yeah, we can do preseason.
We'll be like, what? Already? It's July.
I mean, training camp, there's going to be a lot going on, a lot to talk about during training camp. So we could go next week.
We could go next week.
Start next week.
See how the wind blows. Yeah, that'd be good.
Right. And then next week will be our official start of our third season.
That's right.
Amazing.
We'll try to do something really cool about it. But right now, I'd say we're still talking about, the elation that Dan Snyder is going. We should get the words from another owner in the NFL.
Okay.
Let's call our boy. Call Jerry up.
Jerry, you there?
God dang it. Who put my phone on mute? What the hell's wrong with this thing?
Jerry Jones, welcome back to the Bleed Burgundy Podcast. Listen, buddy, I'm glad you answered your phone. I hope Jorge or Jose or who's your
Captain Pablo, he's got myself. He puts us directly in the line of the international cellular signals so that I can get my phone calls from important gentlemen such as yourself.
Well, we appreciate it. Listen, us Washington Commanders fans, we are ecstatic that Dan Snyder is no longer the owner of this franchise, and Josh Harris and Mitchell Rails and Magic Showtime Johnson has moved in. What do you think about the whole situation, and how did the vote come about? Was it unanimous? I'm sure it was unanimous.
Absolutely, it was completely unanimous, except for that idiot over in Indianapolis, Ursay. He thought he was voting yes, but he didn't actually vote yes. He fell asleep, nodded off, and then we had to raise it. So that pretty much it kind of put a little tiny shadow on things. But overall, we were very happy to kick Dan out of the league, throw him down the steps, every other dang thing that we could do. If I could gone down there and dragged him through the gutter myself, I'd have done so. And let me tell you something. For the last 23 years, I have been gladly kissing that man's ass and saying the nice things about him. But the fact of the matter is, I never did like him. I despised the little prick, and I'm glad he's gone. I sincerely hope that I see his yacht out there on the open sea, because I'm going to instruct Captain Pablo to go ahead and set up my new rammer and put him at the bottom of the sea. We're going to send him right down to Davy Jones' locker.
So go ahead, Scotty. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got a quick question for you, Jerry, if that's okay. Is there anything that you're going to miss about Dan?
I tell you something. It's very nice when these English fellers talk to you, because they ask you if it's okay. Can I ask you a question if it's okay? And
They're very proper.
Right. Now, what was your question there, fella? I'm sorry, I didn't quite understand it.
No problem, Mr. Jones. My question there was to you. Is there anything that you're going to miss about Mr. Snyder now he's gone?
That's what I thought you said. And I'm thinking to myself, what kind of blooming idiot would it be over there would think that anybody miss anything about Dan? And I'm thinking he can't possibly have said that. It's some kind of language barrier. I'm not picking it up. Me and my Arkansas ears just listening to it right. Nobody's going to miss anything about Dan, for crying out loud. I've never once had him over at the house where he hadn't left a goddamn pair of skid-marked underpants on the goddamn guest room floor when he left. That's disgusting. About the only thing that I'm going to miss about Dan is Tanya, quite honestly. Tanya. Look, I told y'all before, she's been on my bucket list, and I just haven't been able to seal the deal. I thought that if we got a couple of more owners meetings where I could get Dan suspended and out of the way for a little while there, I could get her out here on the SS Eugenia. We'd cruise around the bay near San Diego. Hey, how you doing there, Tony? Let's see your skid team. Let's see your skid marks. But it never did happen. And I must say, I'm kind of disappointed with that, because really flying to Washington, there's really nothing else to do over there than watch the goddamn Cowboys beat the shit out of that crappy ass team that Dan put together and try to fuck his wife.
Jesus, Jerry. All right.
Do you have a promo code for anyone who's listening out there at all, Jerry?
Well, I'll tell you something there. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say it with the nicest of intention. I'm going to go ahead and give you the promo code of Coyote Ugly. Coyote Ugly will buy you a Dallas Cowboys bag in case you ever find yourself with old what's his name, the new owner. What's his name there? God dang it.
Josh. Josh.
Josh. You seen his wife? I'm telling you something right now. If you end up in the back seat of a goddamn limo with her, you're going to wish you had your brand new Dallas Cowboys bag, because it will make your evening go a lot better. That's for sure. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say anything mean. I'll apologize to her in person when I see her.
So I got one more question before we let you go, Jerry. Right. Now that Dan has sold the team, are you worried about the Commanders not being the perennial doormat of the NFC East?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm telling you something right now, there, Timmy. It doesn't matter who owns that goddamn team. They're still going to be under the Dallas Cowboys' feet, because that's just where we like to keep them. And I'm not even going to bring up the last game that we played together, because we kind of let y'all have that. We felt bad for Dan. He was going to his last game. Go ahead and give him a win, make him feel a little better when he's carrying his little butt across the sea. And quite frankly, I told Tanya, hey, you know what? I told them to go ahead and fuck up that punt. That now, will you come out with me? Could you come over to the house? And she wouldn't listen. I think she's deaf, quite honest. I think she's probably got a hearing problem.
Well, good news for you. I think the divorce papers are in the mail, so you might have a chance. But we appreciate your time as always, Jerry. We appreciate your time.
I sincerely, I got nothing else to do. There ain't nothing out here on the ocean except the sunshine and the water. I mean, it sounds great and all that kind of stuff like that. But once the cheerleaders sunburn, you got to send them inside.
Training camp starts soon, and I'm sure you're going to be out there with a whistle in your hand and trying to hold a conversation with your head coach, even though he doesn't look at you.
Well, sometimes he does look at me, but at the same time, he looks at something else. And that's where I get kind of confused. I'm not sure which eye I'm supposed to be talking to. And quite frankly, training camp for me is really just kind of a party. All I do is walk with celebrities around and show them the Cowboys, because that's what they like. And they like to see things. And I like to get my picture taken with celebrities, because it makes it easier to get laid with whores in a truck stop. I'm telling you something right now. You go ahead and show them a picture of Matthew McConaughey or something like that coming around to take a look at your goddamn football team, and they just fall all over themselves, except for one. Her name starts with a T, and that's it. Jerry's out.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thanks, Jerry.
Oh, Jerry Jones is becoming a regular on the podcast. I wonder.
It seems to happen wherever I go.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
Well, training camps.
We'll pull the curtain back, and I will apologize to everybody for my awful Jerry Jones impression, but it is so yeah.
Training camp starts next week. We got a new owner. We're getting improvements to the FedEx Field. Looks like food and beer prices are going to go down this year. It's fucking exciting.
That'll be interesting because it's like this. They're contracts, right, with these big companies that do these things in stadiums and arenas, and
they're contracts. And the fact is, they're contracted for like $3 a beer, and everything else is fucking
Right. But, so they have overhead, like the illegal immigrants that they hire for $1 an hour, right?
There is that to contend with, John. Yeah, you're right.
I'll tell you what, you want fast service when you go up to a stadium concession stand, ask for cerveza.
Right.
My favorite quote in the past 2 days is Josh Harris saying, "Being a fan isn't enough."
No, it's not.
Dan Snyder was a fan of this team when he took it over. And you see how that turned out. And when Josh Harris said that, I got chills on my arm because, for him to say that and for him to have experience in owning sports team just makes me feel like this team's in good hands right now. And we just got a lot to be excited for.
I hope so. Touch wood.
I think you're right. It's not even so, because I don't want to be, over the moon for something that we know nothing about. But he does have experience in this area. He does know how to go ahead and separate it. And the fact of the matter is, what we don't have is a guy that we know can't do it. Yeah. That's what gives me the most optimism. It's not Dan. It could be. I don't care. If they could give the job to a manhole cover, I'd feel better.
And in other news, in football news, the first 2 transactions under the Josh Harris era is that our first 2 draft picks have been signed.
That's right. That's right.
And I feel Cam Curl is right around the corner. I got that feeling, man. I got that feeling. Cam Curl is right around the corner. Next offseason, we got a shit ton of money, about $80 million. We have the 6th most cap in
right. We got a ton of cap.
The NFL, and we will be buyers next year. I have a feeling.
Now, Josh Harris, don't go crazy like Dan Snyder did. We can be buyers, but we can be smart buyers. We don't have to be stupid buyers. I would say this. Here is my impression of the photographer when Emmanuel Forbes was signing his contract today. Ready? Could you kind of move out from behind the pen? Jesus
Why is George Foreman in the shot? Yeah.
I got to pick my camera up. Yeah. Right. No, I could see him, but you can't even see him back there.
His knee does look like George Foreman, though. You're right.
But that is great news that they're both signed. They're both in there now. Is there anybody left of our rookies that have not signed yet?
Not at all. They were the only 2, and I think we were waiting because of obviously when you're a first round pick, it's the bonus, isn't it? It's what you're going to get paid in through the salary. And now we have an ownership group who are cash rich. There you go. Look, you know what I mean? That's the other thing as well, is $100 billion all this ownership group is worth as a whole. So paying someone $10 million in signing bonus is not going to be an issue anymore.
Move a couple of keys a year. You got some cash real quick from some of these.
Magic Johnson, I don't invest in sports teams for ego. I invest to win. We want to change everything that has happened to this franchise. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
That's good. Did you see Magic Johnson trying to dance to go-go?
Yes, I did.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have it. However, listen to
some work to do.
Sing the "It's Your Birthday" to him. That was pretty fun.
Lord.
Dance to go-go is not hard. It never changes. Okay, it's the same fucking thing. All of them. Anyway, so we are now past an hour here. All right, so we got training camp coming up. It starts what day do the veterans report?
Wednesday, I think it's first practice.
Rookies are there now, aren't they? They're in tomorrow for meetings, I think. Is that right, Jesse?
Yeah. Rookies start tomorrow. Meetings, just getting prepared to get expectations.
Good.
And yeah, man, it's time. It is time.
Find out where you can stand so that Jesse can see your dick when he's wandering around the place and he's not supposed to be over there. All right. I will say this, Scott. You asked earlier about what it was like back when we were winning and all that kind of things like this. And in partly, this was what it was like. We're entering training camp with smooth, still waters, right? We don't have player concerns. We don't have injury concerns. We don't have – everybody's on board, right? Yep. That's where we are. And that was the thing that you knew back then, all right? And what you gained back then, especially when Joe Gibbs was coach, injuries didn't matter. Somebody else was coming up and they were going to do it. They're going to be just fine. All right. And we did it all the time. So, but that was the main thing that I would take away from this as opposed to then is that we're entering training camp and well, like I just said, all draft picks are signed. Everybody's in camp. Everybody's ready to go. Nobody's hurt. Nobody's nursing anything, right? Nobody's coming back off of anything seriously severe that they're limited by. So yay, let's go.
So yeah, and I'll see you guys in 7 weeks? I think thereabouts. 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 7 weeks.
So he said a month earlier, so we're going to have to go ahead and burst the bubble. Yeah, it's like 6 weeks.
6 weeks. Yeah.
Jesse's like thinking it's Christmas.
Yep, 6 weeks.
It's coming.
6 weeks. Got to train in my liver.
Not at all. I don't drink, Jesse. You know that. But you were triple parked at one point. So yeah.
Triple parked.
3 beers. Jesse had 2 beers in his hand, and I came with another 2, and he's like, "They're not for me, are they?" Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
I've actually got a video of you taking a shot, which is quite funny. So,
nice.
and your very words were "God help me" when before you did it. It's quite funny. I was like, I think you knew it was going to be a long night at that point.
Yeah.
Is that car called a slingshot?
Yes, it's a slingshot. The slingshot. Yeah.
There's a few of them around here, and at night one of them looks like Iron Man. It's freaking cool. When it's coming at you, it looks like it's Iron Man.
Yeah.
With his face and shit. They painted it like that. It's pretty cool.
No, it was super fun riding in the mountains on that thing. We're just take a break from the motorcycles, started to get a little saddle sore. So we were like, you know what, let's go ahead and meet my pops. He had to get out because I was scaring the shit out of him, and his ticker's not that great. So I got in it by myself for a couple hours and scared myself a couple times too. So not all mountain
sidecar, Jesse. Is it?
What's that?
Is it like a sidecar or is it a
no? It's like a big humongous go-kart, street legal.
All right.
go-kart.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, 3 wheels, 2 in the front, 1 in the back,
with a motorcycle drive chain.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. See.
It's almost like a half of a Batmobile almost.
The 3-wheel cars that they have over in the UK. Those are
yeah.
I can see Scott about
Robin Reliant.
I do picture Scott driving one of them.
A Robin Reliant.
1968 Bellend. Please take it for a test drive today.
Absolute classic. Honestly, don't mention a Robin Reliant because that's off a really old TV show here. That was a comedy show called Only Fools and Horses. If you've ever watched it, it's amazing. Andy Burrows is pretty much the biggest fan of it. He's a proper geek for that show. Please watch it. Honestly, it's so funny.
Only Fools and Horses?
Only Fools and Horses. The
only
lead,
fans and horses.
Oh, not only fans. No, that would be
only fans and horses. That's a different channel. I don't want my wife watching.
No,
it's a guy called David Jason who's actually been knighted now. He's Sir David Jason. He's a very, very good actor. Very good actor.
So why haven't you been knighted, Scott?
Oh well, no, I'm not even. I'm
shit. You're on the Bleeding Burgundy podcast for a year now. We need to talk with the fucking king. Get the guy.
At least give me an MBE. You know what I mean? Come on, it's just
Hey, whatever that is. I don't know. I just want to see you get smacked in the head with a sword from King Charles.
Oh, Jug Ears himself. Yeah, I've seen him. I've met him. I've met him twice actually. Interestingly enough. So yeah.
Was he when you shook his hand? Did you shake his hand?
Yeah, I did. And we actually had a conversation about teeth,
Like
weirdly enough. And he was telling me about a time where his captain on some naval ship lost his dentures over the side of the ship, and it was hilarious. And I was like, okay, cool, nice, because he noticed that my badges, because I have specific like epaulets on my uniform when I was in that attain to being in the dental branch of the RAF, and it was like, oh yeah, I see a dental branch. Very, very good at that. I'll be honest. Like looking at memorabilia, medals, the badges that you've got, the epaulets that you've got, he knew everything. Obviously, which you'd expect him to know over time. But yeah,
here's my impression
very
of
nice.
that conversation. Oh, you're more friend.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Highness.
Jeremy Reeves just tweeted out September 10th, the crib about to be rocking.
Yes,
Well, Jason Wright earlier was saying he reckons it's going to be a sellout. It's trending towards being sellout.
I've been saying that for a couple weeks now.
I hope so.
I think it's going to be
I hope
sold
so.
out.
I'm going to get me my son's got the StubHub app. I got to get in touch with Freddie so he can transfer them tickets over.
Yeah.
Yep. So once I have the tickets, then I'll buy parking.
Yeah, you need to do
you need to get parking.
I got to get parking. All right, then. Well, we are well past an hour and 10 minutes, gentlemen. I think that we are about done for today. So, yeah, I think we'll probably be back next Friday to start with our training camp talk, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Hopefully, nothing happens but good stuff. Hopefully, we get a bunch of good videos of Eric Bieniemy running up and down the sidelines yelling at people. We get a bunch of good videos of wide receivers torching defensive backs and defensive backs picking off the ball. I hope we get
not too many, though.
Nothing but good. Nothing but good.
Defensive backs picking off Jacoby Brissett.
That's what I like to see. Yeah, let's get what's his name, the guy from Georgia, Jake Fromm. Let's get Fromm out there, throw some picks. Let those boys.
I thought I was looking at Demarat, whatever he's called. Is it what's his name? The fourth choice guy. Is it Demarat?
Demarat.
Yeah, Demarat. I don't know.
I don't even pronounce his name.
He's from Appalachian State.
I would have expected. I better know this guy's name. He's going to be in the game by Thanksgiving.
Democrat.
Tim Democrat.
He's going to go out and try to negotiate the win. All right, everybody, listen to me. How about we give you all 10 points, and you all give us 13. Next time we see you, we'll give you all 13, and we'll take 10. Whatever, but it's a Democrat, so he'll probably go, all right, we'll take a field goal, and y'all win. Thanks anyway, but next time be nice to us, okay?
Why do you sound like that teacher off South Park?
I don't know.
Mr. Garrison.
Democrats, you know what? I don't like the Republicans, and I don't like the Democrats. They have no spine. I don't see how it is that somebody is fucking transparently banned. There you go. Transparently banned is Donald Trump. How could they have not been able to stop this guy yet?
Just cut it off. Stop the podcast, Jesse. We've got into politics. Stop it. Stop it. Just stop it.
Yeah. I'm not going down that road. Fuck that. But I didn't say it. Somebody else said I said it was the Democrat. However, I will say this. Republican, Democrat, they don't talk like,
John, it doesn't matter that you're a Republican or a Democrat. We can all agree on one thing. Dan's gone, and that's it.
Dan is gone.
Dan's gone. Woo! Now we can get to football and nothing but football. Football,
and this
football,
cool
and nothing but the football.
Yeah, I think that'll be a refreshing change. It has been a refreshing change this summer that we really haven't had anything to complain about. So I don't know.
We didn't even talk really about the Mary Jo White report
because we know it's in it and we knew it was true.
Yeah, that's it.
But they just finally released it. I thought it was kind of funny that as soon as they shut the door behind Dan, they threw that thing out the window. Here, everybody, take a look.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Get the fuck out of here and give us $60 million before you get out the front door.
Yeah.
Hit it.
All right. Until next week.
All right, everybody. See you later.